you know, these moments where they explore their trauma and they move past it. They don't
Mhm.
victimize themselves, but they accept what happened to them and they work through it. So there's multiple people. It takes work. It takes real work and accountability. And if you're willing to take accountability and willing to accept your life for what it is, what happened, then there's a lot that can be moved on from. So it's very I it's very therapy is very eye-opening. I think there's a lot that can be accomplished. Um, and a lot of people, after being in therapy for many years, eventually stop going because they're able to move past a lot of what happened to them. Like they wind up not knowing what to talk about because they're able to get to a point where they've talked about everything they needed to and they've been heard. I think a lot of things in therapy people notice is that they just want to be heard. They want to be validated. And once they feel heard and validated, a lot of people kind of let go of it and just move on. I think invalidating someone's feelings in a serious manner, I think is not just hurtful but damaging. But people just have to let go of the fact that some people just don't care. Some people aren't concerned. And you're just going to have to feel like that no matter what you say or do, you have to keep your side of the street clean and let it go.
I think there's also something too that, in a certain respect, like if like my impulse, like when people come to me about they have a problem or this or that, my impulse is to want to help them. Unfortunately, there's only so much you could do. I mean, especially if they need, if they need resources. I mean, I'm not, I'm not the type of professional where I can point them to the right resources. I can suggest some possibilities that they might want to call, like certain agencies, whatever. But I think it's also, like, I've heard this from people, like, sometimes you hear stories from people who have been through very difficult times. And one of the things that a lot of them complain about is they said that they feel like their friends, that their support group, their friends, their family kind of deserted them. I don't know it's so much that the friends and family deserted them, is that the friends and the family felt helpless and they felt kind of awkward. They wanted to help this person, but they were helpless. They didn't have the tools or the resources as much as they wanted to help this person. So what can you do?
I think also sometimes people just get exhausted. You can't lean on an average person for therapeutic help. You can't use someone as a backboard to unload and dump all of your baggage on them and then wonder what's going on. Because it usually winds up being is that people do this and then they just get exhausted. And it's just that feeling that, hey, I have all this stuff. I know you're a normal human being that doesn't know how to fully process what I'm going through, but I'm going to put everything on you and expect you to somehow fix me. Like you can't, it's not right. It's not appropriate.
No, you can't depend upon, you can't put that on, you're right. You can't put that on people.
Yeah.
You just can't. Yeah.
I understand. It's just, but I guess it's something in a way that like you have to think about because I guess it starts off like when you're younger, right? Sorry, hold on 1 second. Yeah, it starts off when you're younger and then you're just talking to your friends and you're just trying to express frustrations and whatnot. You kind of lean into it. And that's the other problem is that you shouldn't be leaning into something, and kind of like, I'm not saying keep things to yourself, but there's only so much you should give the average person.
Yeah. Like how much, when I start to think about it, I mean, how much should one share with a friend?
I don't think you should share anything really, or nothing that burdens them. Like you kind of want to keep it together and you don't want to burden someone with your problems, But if they're willing to listen, you could open up a little bit. But I wouldn't try to trauma dump as what they call it nowadays. You know,
Mm.
all of your problems on somebody. You know, unless, to be honest, unless the person has that capability of letting go, disassociating, you know, I don't know, maybe that's not even the right healthy thing to do either way. But I mean, I guess also there's between men and women. It sounds like, you know, kind of a cheap, you know, thought process, but it's just like men and women are different when it comes to problem solving and problem expressing.
Mhm.
I think a lot of men don't tend to tell their problems to their guy friends because they don't want to burden them with, you know, their problems. And even that, it's if it's unsolvable, then why give it to someone to solve? You know what I mean? Like why tell me your problems if I can't help you?
Hmm. I know there's something in Judaism that it says, if you have a problem in your heart, it says, share it with someone. That don't try to take it on all by
Oh,
yourself.
that's for sure. But there's
Yeah,
also the idea of seeking professional help
yeah.
and the importance of seeking professional help. Because when you do that, you're able to resolve a lot of the issues,
Mhm.
you know, like having enough of a mature talk with somebody about real situations and them being able to guide you in a way to help you, I guess, resolve the emotional baggage that it created. And by
Mhm.
doing so, you're able to be a better person. You know, that's really what therapy is all about. That's why people go to it. Because in general, they have this feeling like they want to be a better person. And
Mm.
if they
Yeah.
can hopefully, you know, remove this baggage from themselves, they're able to become a more better, secure person.
I saw a book was when I was babysitting for some kids, and they had a book in their house that I was reading to them, and it's one of these self-help books for basically for children. And the this particular it's a whole series. Like there's one about you know kids getting into fights,